first witness is Mr. Ray McGovern.
I would like to start out by showing a very brief video clip. It lasts 45 seconds, and so I would ask you all to stay awake for those 45 minutes.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Lights, please.
Before the invasion, listen to Colin Powell in February 2001. He states clearly that there was no threat from Saddam Hussein.
He has not developed any significant capability with respect to weapons of mass destruction. He is unable to project conventional power against his neighbors.
And this is Condoleezza Rice, Bush's national security advisor, in July of the same year, saying the same thing, putting the lie to their own propaganda.
They were able to keep arms from him with military not in the building.
And that, many believe, was the truth, a truth that was covered up and conveniently forgotten after September the 11th, when Bush and Blair decided to attack Iraq.
Whoa. Just saw a segment from video.
I would ask you to reflect on that. I would ask you why it could be that just a few months later, after 9/11, the story abruptly changed. Suddenly, Iraq had all manner of weapons of mass destruction, WMD, and posed an immediate threat not only to its immediate neighbors, but to the United States of America. How do you explain that? Well, the Downing Street minutes and the other documents that have been released now help. They help a lot. And I would like to publicly thank the patriotic, courageous whistleblowers who did that, who made available these documents. Because through them and through, of all people, Rupert Murdoch's Sunday Times, we know the answers to a lot of these questions. By now you know what the Downing Street minutes say. Let me focus in on the phrase, the intelligence and facts were fixed around the policy. How exactly is this fixing accomplished? Well, rather than speak in generalities, let's do AOL. Let's do the anatomy of a lie. We'll take just one. You have to pay a little bit of attention here because it flows through a chronology. Here's how it works. On August 26, 2002, less than 5 weeks after the briefing at 10 Downing Street, Vice President Cheney gave a major speech in which he said, and I quote, "We now know that Saddam has resumed his efforts to acquire nuclear weapons. Among other sources, we've gotten this from the first-hand testimony of defectors, including Saddam's own son-in-law." This was a lie. Saddam's son-in-law, Hussein Kamil, told us just the opposite when he defected in 1995. Again, he told us just the opposite. You can find it on page 13 of this debriefing report. He said, and I quote, "All weapons, biological, chemical, missile, nuclear, were destroyed," end quote. How did Kamil know this? He was in charge. They were destroyed in July of 2001, in July of 1991 at his order. Why? To prevent the UN inspectors from finding them after the war. And everything else, Hussein Kamil told us, checked out to be true. Now, Cheney's lie would have been able to stand were it not for the conscience of another patriotic whistleblower who gave the text of Kamil's debriefing to Newsweek. 4 weeks before the war, as the drumbeat for war got louder and louder in early 2003. Newsweek broke the story on February 24th, 2003, several weeks before the attack, but the information was suppressed by U.S. media. When Reuters asked then CIA spokesman Bill Harlow about it, he used his entire tray of adjectives, branding this report incorrect, bogus, wrong, and untrue. British government took the same line. It mattered not that the evidence was documentary from the official debriefing report of Kamil. So that's how it works, folks. That's how you fix intelligence. All you need is chutzpah, a very flexible attitude toward truth, slumbering watchdog intelligence committees in the Congress, and a supine press eager to accept official explanations no matter how disingenuous. Cheney played a superb role in fabricating out of whole cloth a nuclear threat from Iraq, putting wind behind all those mushroom clouds conjured up by the President and Condoleezza Rice to deceive you, the Congress, our elected representatives. Now, in a 27-year career in intelligence, one encounters many examples of attempts to trim the truth, or as the British Minutes put it, fix the intelligence and facts around the policy. It's in the woodwork. It's part of the political scene. But I had never known fixing to include the Vice President arrogating the right to turn a key piece of intelligence on its head. Nor had I in all those years ever known a sitting Vice President to make multiple visits to CIA headquarters to make sure the fix was in. And this is just one example. There is no word to describe the reaction of us professional intelligence officers, active and retired, to the reality that our intelligence community managers were eager to participate in this deceit, into this deliberate subversion of the oath we all take, to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, we're not talking about Georgetown parlor games here, or worse still, White House fraternity jokes. These are consequential, death-dealing lies. The establishment was all yucking it up at the annual dinner of the radio and TV news correspondents on March 24th, 2004, as photos showed the president looking under the office furniture, and around his desk, are there some weapons of mass destruction here, or maybe they're over there? Ha ha ha! And y'all laughed with him, folks. Y'all laughed with him. I'll tell you who's not laughing. Cindy's not laughing. The father and brother of Specialist or Sergeant Sherwood Baker's not laughing. Cindy's son was killed 11 days after the show put on by the president looking for weapons of mass destruction. Sergeant Baker was killed 33 days after that big joke. And 4 months after David Kay came back from Iraq and told us all there were no weapons of mass destruction. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's the scriptural verse chiseled into the marble at CIA headquarters. Well, thanks to the Downing Street minutes, we now know the truth. And the question for us is whether we have enough respect for the Constitution, whether we have enough courage that we will pursue the purveyors of consequential falsehood so that the truth can truly make us free. Thank you very much.